Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for another video. This is North Star Reactions and Reviews and my name is Matthew. In today's video we are continuing up through Criminal Minds. We are up to Season 1, Episode 16 as of this recording, and we are nearly to the end of Season 1. I don't want to make this a super long intro, so I'll just say if you are a current or returning subscriber to the channel, welcome. If you are a new subscriber to the channel, welcome to you as well. And as always, if you're not a current subscriber to the channel, but you like what you see here in the video or just on the channel in general, I would urge you to please consider subscribing. It does indeed help our channel get noticed, and it does help to grow our community further. I'd love to have you all here. Let's not waste any time and go ahead and jump into Season 1, Episode 16 of Criminal Minds. Hope you enjoy. Terra Mesa, New Mexico. Interesting.
Where did you say the bathroom was?
Something ominous is already going on here. Ooh. Oh great, so there's a group of people now. Oh shoot! There's our girl Garcia. But who's this guy?
What are you doing out of your bunker?
I'm Sean. Hey. Here. You must be looking for your brother. Yeah. Right this way.
Brother, as in...
Come in. Sean. Hey.
What? That's Hotch's brother?
Haven't cut your hair since Thanksgiving? Super long. Congratulations. You must be pretty excited.
We're just learning lots about Hotch in these recent episodes.
I got this job offer to work at this restaurant new to be a lawyer. Just like Dad, just like me. Well, look what it got Dad, huh? Heart attack, 47. I think I'm doing okay. Look, trust my instincts. Look, Sean, it's typical for someone who lost his father at a young age. You know what? You're not him. Then why are you here? It's a really good question. All I'm saying is you're 25 years old. You know what? Don't profile me, Aaron.
I get the sense that they don't get along.
Now I see it. Sexual assault and no sign of theft.
5 19-year-olds, minimal defensive moves.
So many people. So you think there was more than two?
I think we're looking at a pack.
A pack?
3 or more that kill in unison. As in nature, the group dynamic dictates the pack's survival of the
Stronger pack.
Ooh. So I was right, there is a group of people. But like I was saying in the video, we are learning a ton about Hotch in these latest episodes. It's interesting.
Wrote, the individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe.
Reed and Gideon.
I was hoping there were more of you.
The other agents went straight to the station house to look at the victim's files. Has forensics had any luck?
County CSU went through for prints and trace evidence. They said with all the workmen tramping through. The unsub avoided areas of skin on the wrist and the throat, areas where the veins and arteries are closest to the surface.
Why would they do that?
Two sleeping bags.
There's a third sleeping bag upstairs.
Everything you need for a night of teenage romance.
It's unlikely that...
Until it turned dark.
We had to take notes.
Sheriff, it's fine.
The others. Coroner said from the amount of blood, he was alive when they impaled him.
I know this is going to sound strange, but The way the victims were flayed alive, mutilated, and now the impalement.
It does. Everything you see around us is Apache land. This whole basin is a sacred burial ground and was the site of a number of massacres, as I understand.
So this development is on their land?
Private land for private development.
And now the town is looking for investors to build on the other half. The Apache are fighting it, of course, in court.
There been any violence until now?
Nothing like this.
Okay, one order of bad guys on the Apache reservation coming right up.
Oh, great.
Apparently there was a militant group there in the 70s called the IRM.
Any of them still around?
Now, a shootout with federal agents at Wounded Knee. His name, Benjamin Blackwolf. The son, John Blackwolf.
Thanks, Garcia. Black Wolf?
John Blackwolf? I don't think that's a good idea.
Why not?
Blackwolf is the reservation police.
Ooh, that's gonna go over smoothly. So the crime was based on Indian wartime
These are
killings.
FBI agents. Gideon,
That's an interesting angle.
and Reed.
Is John inside?
This about the Terra Mesa killings?
They just want to talk to us.
John Blackwolf has done more to help his tribe than anyone. Hell, Jim, how many times?
Force, if attacked.
What does this have to do with Terra Mesa?
Well, a lot if John considers the building of the Terra Mesa development on Apache land to be an attack.
It's true.
In their homes and live in government-controlled internment camps. Does anybody know the last tribe to surrender to the American government? It was the Chiricahua Apache. By the U.S. Army 5 times. But the Gahe had given him so much strength, he escaped. Each time.
They are mighty spirits who dwell in desert caves.
Reed, is your name Samuel?
Sorry.
I'll take over for you, John.
Ooh, that's a large knife.
Which professor? You look like his student. You look like FBI.
We're with the behavioral analysis unit.
Profile.
Figure out how these kids were killed.
You're not asking because I'm a cop.
No. We're asking because you're an expert on Native American culture.
We should start inside. Forensic says the outside's been contaminated from all the construction traffic.
Of all the Native American tribes, I noticed you don't carry a gun.
21 feet.
What?
Ask Agent Hotchner there, he's the real gun hand.
Why do you say that?
Inside 21 feet, I win. Outside 21, I have other options besides shooting a man.
Like negotiating.
Like running.
Why do you say I carry 2 guns?
You're right, it's with your perception.
Interesting.
What do you see?
There's a saying. Whoever did this carried out the most brutal practices of the Apache, Navajo, Comanche, Pueblo, and Sioux. Figure out who did this might help to know there was a 6th person in the house.
Why do you say that?
Female, 90, 95 pounds, size 6 shoe, fallen arches. She was walking alone over there. Because while these 2 carried this girl struggling to their vehicle to the east, at least 6 others ran single file to hide their numbers from the west.
So you're saying that there were 8?
What?
At least.
8 suspects and 1 hostage. Those aren't good
To
odds.
see how I behaved at the scene of the crime, you can at least tell me how I did.
Your lack of an emotional reaction at seeing the carnage leads me to believe you're innocent.
But they also knew killings would start a fierce blood feud, which would result in the waste of lives and resources.
Makes sense.
So the Apache proved their superiority by counting cool, stealth, and weakness.
If this is your way of saying you're not the killer, we already know that.
So why am I still talking to you?
Fudge. So if there was another girl out there,
If it'll keep the FBI off the reservation, I'll stay.
Each torture ritual had specific religious significance, but only to the tribe that practiced it.
Title Pack shares a singular vision. Whether they share religious faith, racist ideology, or political manifesto, each member of this unit has surrendered its individual identity to the group.
Political terrorist groups.
We could be looking for a domestic terrorist organization like the Symbionese Liberation Army that kidnapped Patty Hearst.
But these are Indians, right?
I seriously doubt it. I'm saying that Indians wouldn't be so confused.
Can we really be sure he's right? Well, I'm fairly certain Blackwolf wasn't in on it, but you don't need...
Land grab in court. Public opinion would be a significant factor.
Is there anyone besides the developers who might be vehemently opposed to the Indians getting the land back?
The ADU?
Who's that?
People are mostly white, construction workers, building supply vendors, working class people that believe Indians are standing in the way of progress and commerce.
Whether they feel the Indians are standing in the way of progress.
Behind these killings?
The Indians have a history of violent behavior, especially the Apaches. Did you know that they used to kill white settlers?
So he's casting off blame on the Indians.
Heads on wooden pipes. You know, your rhetoric sounds just hateful enough to justify violence. We don't need to stoop to their level. We're fighting the Indians in court. Is that right? Then why all the guns, Roy? I reckon 150 guns, Roy. I don't think so.
That's a lot of guns.
That's plain paranoid. Not anymore.
Henry. He's using racist ideology to cover simple greed. Sure felt like it to put Benton under surveillance.
You think he's guilty?
Not like
Hey, what do you got?
I have an NCIC hit on one of the prints from the sliding glass door. Ingrid Greason, 19 years old. Family moved her here 2 years ago from Texas, where they require fingerprints for driver's license application.
Why didn't you report your daughter as missing, Mr. Grayson?
I didn't know she
That
was
is an interesting question.
She's been going through a phase the past couple months of distancing herself.
Has anyone threatened Ingrid?
Not that I know of.
Have you received any menacing phone calls or seen anyone in the neighborhood?
Not Ingrid in the name of their cause.
We think the first thing, the best thing you can do to help your daughter is for you to go on the news.
Oh, that help Ingrid?
If we can personalize Ingrid to the public, it might.
Okay.
Parents, they don't hide their feelings of guilt, while guilty parents do.
So we're thinking this guy's guilty.
Or something.
Ooh. So now the father's a suspect. Or rather, he's guilty of something. He may not be a suspect in the crime at hand, but he's guilty for something.
What do we do?
Alone.
Has Grayson been prepped?
Caller doesn't want to speak to Greason. In fact, he doesn't want Greason to know that he's even calling.
Listening.
You don't tell Grayson about it.
What does it matter to you what I tell Grayson?
Because he paid us to kidnap her.
Well, I guess we found out what he's guilty of.
Hey, don't shoot! Where's the girl? She's in the van!
I guess I was wrong about the father being a suspect.
Tell me what happened.
Peter Grayson hired us. He knew about our records, but he said give us a chance.
2 weeks ago, we called us into his office. Said he had some off-the-clock work for us.
He did, but then he gave us half the money. And he said if we harmed her accidental or otherwise, he'd make
Money
sure
is
we
the
paid
root
for
of
it.
all
I
evil.
wanted you to kidnap her, but not hurt her.
Yeah. So we saw it on the news the next morning. We called Mr. Grayson. He said hold tight, he'd come around in the afternoon, but he didn't show. So then the next night he's on the news. Then he's talking about
Girl, but then you leave just minutes before someone else comes and kills those kids.
We didn't kill them kids. Who's with her the whole time since? You can ask her.
Alright, let's see if we can find out why the father did this.
Kidnapped her own daughter.
You kidnapped your daughter and coincidentally saved her life? Right? I want the names of all your daughter's friends at school. Boyfriends, I want her class schedule, I
It's
want...
very private.
We have 5 dead kids, tortured, mutilated, and murdered, and all we have to go on is you and your daughter. Do the math.
Uh-huh.
3239487.
Excuse me?
Greason, Ingrid. 943239.
That was odd.
Doesn't look like Minton or the ADU were part of it. My men have been looking at him and his friends, checking on alibis. Nothing.
Every question with only her name and social security number.
Like a prisoner of war.
There's more. Garcia did some checking. Ingrid hasn't been enrolled in school for over a year. She had good grades.
I need to see Peter Grayson's phone records. How long has your daughter been in a cult?
Oh, great. So whoever the real unsub is killed the cop and killed the guy from the
You
ADU.
placed a call to a psychiatrist, convinced her to leave, so you had her kidnapped.
Now you're protecting her because you think Ingrid and her co killed those kids, and you're probably right.
There's been another killing. family of 5. If Ingrid had a change of heart, the case could be made for brainwashing or even temporary insanity.
Mr. Greason, we need you to tell us what you know about Ingrid's situation.
Given the wrong circumstances, this could happen to anyone's child. Tell us what happened.
Ingrid was in her first semester. She started. How was she different? The way she spoke. She kept repeating these words, this jargon. I didn't know where she was getting it. She just very powerful form of thought control.
If you could help us identify some of the key words, perhaps we could get Ingrid talking.
She said I was a trespasser. Gahi.
Sagahe.
Yes.
Interesting.
Thank you.
We're looking for the cult leader, typically men between the age of 25 and 35.
Rituals. Look for males with criminal records for lesser type crimes. Drug possession, petty theft.
But what about school records? The victims from the first crime scene with...
Okay, they're ready. Everybody out.
So I wonder how they're gonna do this.
Come with me. My friend wants to show you something.
But you're Calapache.
Come with me.
What do you think happened here, Ingrid?
There are only two people. The Apache and those who trespass against us.
You're not Apache, Ingrid.
No, you're not Apache. Not anymore. Grandfather tested me.
His grandfather.
Did grandfather ever tell you where the name Apache comes from? It comes from the Zuni word Apachu. It means enemy. And if grandfather...
You're like the Jews of old, lost and wandering the desert in search of their Messiah. And he has
They
come.
don't believe in a Messiah.
You're lied to,
The
Ingrid.
guys.
Don't use a word you don't understand. Enemy! This is the blood of a little girl just like you are. You've been fed bits and pieces of a culture you don't understand.
Only those who dwell in the Deadlands deserve to live.
The Deadlands on the southern edge of the
That
Western
means
Tract.
something to him.
You said cults like these seek out remote places, yes?
We need to narrow it down.
We might just have our cult leader. This guy named Jackson Cali. He was expelled from TMU 6 months before the others.
What for?
Drug possession, peyote. Terra Mesa, the last in a string of college.
Been a guest lecturer in that seminar for the past 4 years.
If Callie's our cult leader, we need more information on him. Have Garcia pull every shred of Callie's life out of the system.
She's already booked.
Do we know he's still in the area?
He was arrested for trespassing in a bar.
Like Manson's Spawn Ranch.
There's an abandoned motel off Route 29 right in the middle of the Deadlands.
It's gonna
Sounds like the right place.
As much as we can on Cali.
FBI, don't move. Put your hands out to the side and turn around very slowly. Jackson Cali.
Hunting.
Go ahead, Reed.
Simply another sad but unremarkable statistic. Aside from the fact that he had an IQ of 189.
Any criminal record?
At 18, he spent 22 months and beat to death an inmate that was threatening Cali.
Ever since he was a child, this guy just survived on cunning, force of personality.
He spent 22 months in the clink, was released, and then bounced from university to university.
With sociopaths like Cali, there is no connection. If it hadn't been Apache, he would have found some other culture to attract and manipulate his followers.
Like Manson, Cali's been forced to become an expert profiler of sorts.
Mr. Kelly, I'm Special Agent Aaron Hashmi with the FBI.
Not just a cop, are you?
You're very perceptive.
So what are you?
I'm a profiler. Did you teach your tribe to murder?
No, I don't teach murder, I teach love. Love of land, love of ancestors, love.
You speak for the Apache. But you're nothing but a coward.
He's not liking any of this.
I haven't killed anyone. Whereas of your children blaming you for the killing of their people. What are you going to do, call the cops? No, you're going to string them up. You're going to put their heads on poles and rape their...
He baited him.
I'll be right back.
Black Wolf got Cali to reveal his true nature. He's a racist. None of this was for the sake of the Apache.
Never was.
To sculpt the blacks who he deemed inferior would need a white man to lead them.
There's a large cache of guns missing from Minton's house.
Why? Why would Cali suddenly need guns? His whole MO was to fight a war using the Native American methods.
Today we had them put under surveillance. So Callie tried to provoke them further by killing the head of the ADU, Minton, and his family.
Right, but that didn't work either, so now he wants to attack the other side.
He's trying to provoke the Indians, but
61. Cochise led his followers to fight.
Put that away.
What?
What's the name?
Just so you know, you sound like a fortune cookie.
There they are. Oh good, they got them all out quick enough.
Split up. Find him.
Things are a little tense right now. Go Hotch. So far so good. They haven't fired a single shot.
Big mistake. Stay down. I don't want to hurt you.
Wow.
Just had to shoot somebody, didn't you?
Well, he did save your life.
Children? Fine. We got them out before they got here. We took down these four.
Without firing a shot?
Captain America here, shot number 5.
You're welcome. Many paths to get to the same place.
Still can't believe that that's his brother.
What's this? Paul Norris. He's in the New York field office.
You know, it must be hereditary.
Sean, it's really important that you do this your way. You know, what you feel is every bit as important as...
Pretty messed up going away present, you know that?
Brother worries.
At least they're talking.
Tell me about it.
So that was episode 16 of Criminal Minds. Couple thoughts. It was drastically different compared to everything that we've seen up to this point. Right off the top of my head, Hotch has a brother that we were just introduced to for the very first time in this episode. Did not see that coming. They started off a little rough and I sensed some tension between them for a really long time. But right there at the end of the episode, it seemed like they were, you know, talking and getting along well, and he seems to support his brother in his decision on what he wants to do with his life, and that's all you can really ask for. Next comes with the case itself. It was first thought to be done, the crime, by the Indians of the reservation in New Mexico where they were investigating. That turned out to be false. It was all a setup trying to start something with the residents and the Indians and get them to go against each other. And it was pretty rough and pretty horrific stuff that they did to start a war between those people. Next, it turned out to all be a cult, actually. And that was a really big curveball. I did not suspect a cult. I knew that there was something going on because it was a large group of people, but I wasn't thinking cult at first. And the fact that Ingrid, the girl who was kidnapped at the beginning of the episode, her father was the one that paid to have her kidnapped and then subsequently rescued, it was surprising to see that he was the one behind that. Her kidnapping anyway. But then we come to realize that he only did it to try and save her. So, I mean, you can't really fault him for that. John Blackwolf, who was the reservation police, was an interesting character in this episode. The whole Indian aspect or angle of this episode was an interesting thing to touch on, because that is, I know for a fact, something we've never covered in any of the episodes that we've done so far. So it's always nice to see something new, and this was indeed brand new. Especially the cult aspect of it. They were able to take most of the cult members alive, which was great. John Blackwolf took them all down without firing a single shot, and Hotchner fired one shot. It was interesting to see Hotch do a lot of hand-to-hand combat. We don't get to see that a lot in these episodes, at least that's not something that we've seen so far, except for in this episode. So these were just my thoughts. I'd love to know your thoughts. Go ahead and leave me a comment down in the comment section below. I love reading your comments, and it does help to support the video. Any and all action taken on the video through watching, commenting, sharing, it all supports the channel. So if you could please like, subscribe, and share the video any way you can, I would greatly appreciate it. It does support the channel and the video in general, and it does improve the algorithm for the channel in general. And I appreciate each and every one of you for all of your support. That'll be it for me on this video, and keep a lookout for the next video coming soon. I hope you all enjoy, and I will see you for the next one.